Hello everyone, welcome to match 1 of our Pauper League with Stompy. We've got a bit of an interesting one here. So we've got one land. We do have 2 Savage Swipes though, it's so very tempting. We are on the draw as opposed to the play, so we might very well get that second land. Turn 1 Vault Scourge. Problem is, if we turn 1 Vault Scourge, don't get another land, realistically we can't actively Savage Swipe with our Vault Scourge. So if our Vault Scourge was a Nettle Sentinel, I'd consider this, but I think we have to throw this back and hope for something better. Well, that has no lands, so that's not ideal for us. So we're going to go down to 5 here. Opponent, I think, kept on 7. They did. Okay, well, this has creatures, lands, and spells, so this is probably about as good as we can hope for. We're going to ditch the vines. We're going to ditch the hunger, I think. That will do us. We're going to keep enough lands to actually cast all of our spells. What I don't want is to be stranded on one land with a riverbow in my hand. So not an ideal start to our league here, but hey, that makes it slightly better. Burning Tree is a big help for us here. So let's go Vault Scourge. Go, opponent. What have you got for us? Leading on Evolving Wilds makes me think potentially this is some kind of Delver deck. Yeah, Snow-Covered Mountain, so potentially we could be looking at Izzet Delver here. Not a great matchup, but not a terrible one either. Okay, opponent holding in their main phase, so I don't know if they're planning to flash in a Spellstow Sprite or what they're planning to do, but no plays from our opponent turn 2, that's interesting. Okay, Quirm Ranger not all that exciting. That's not going to move the needle too much. So we're going to go Burning Tree here. Let's get our Burning Tree down, hopefully. Hopefully this doesn't get prohibited or something silly. Called it. Well, that is unfortunate for us. Generally, I don't see a lot of Izzet lists running Prohibit, so that is kind of surprising. But I guess it is, they are running it for situations like that. Obviously, generally they would run a lot of Counterspell and Deprive, but that's very blue mana heavy. Okay, Brainstorm from our opponent. Interesting bit of tech there, Prohibit. I mean, I don't think we can just sit there on turn 2 and not play a spell. I mean, we could have maybe tried to bait them out with a Aquarium Ranger, play a Rancor onto our Vault Scourge, but I think our most explosive play was to get Burning Tree into Riverboa. I think that's our easiest way to start getting through for some damage. Okay, Augur of Bolas with the ugly-ass new artwork for it. I will say, people, please stop playing this artwork. This is ugly as hell. I much prefer the original. Personal preference, I know, but... Oh, okay, so this isn't Izzet Delver. This is the Izzet Goblin Wizardry deck. I played against this the other day. This is a super sweet deck, actually. I played against it, and you know it's a sweet deck when you play against it if you play against it and then immediately you want to start building it, so... Okay, so we are going to... what are we going to do here? So I can play Riverboa and play Rancor, attack for 3, gain 3, but that leaves our Riverboa exposed. So I think what we do is we attack for 1. Let's get in for 1. Realistically, Aquarium Ranger isn't a threat. Our only threat beyond Vault Scourge is going to be our Riverboa, so we want to try and protect it a little bit. They only have 1 source of red mana currently, so even if they have a Scred or a Lightning Bolt in hand, then they can't really do, hopefully, much to it, I'm hoping. Another land from our opponent. What are we going to see from them here? So this is a deck that runs lots of Frantic Inventory, Accumulated Knowledge, things like that. Opponent going to come through with Augur? No. No attack from our opponent. Okay. So. Let's play Aquarium Ranger. because essentially it casts for free because we can bounce our forest back to our hand. Let's play Nettle Sentinel. Should eat a counter from our opponent here if they have one. There we go. Exclude from our opponent. Okie dokie. Unfortunately, they do... They do still have... a red mana available, which means I'm somewhat reluctant to play the Rancor and get blown out 2 for 1 here. I think our best play, get in for 3. Opponent can't block our River Boa. We've got 2 regenerations in hand, so they're going to really struggle to deal with this Boa. And then pass the turn to our opponent, see what they can do. I gotta say, I do really like this deck our opponent's playing. It makes a lot more sense now why they're running Prohibit. I thought initially they were running Izzet Delver, which doesn't tend to run that particular card. Now we know their deck choice, it makes a lot more sense. So we know they have a Wizardry in hand, but it costs 4 mana, but you can cast it at instant speed. So it is a really good combat trick, especially because the tokens that come in have prowess. Okay, so multiple red mana for our opponent here. I think again we just kind of get in. Oh no. Don't get in with Crane Ranger. Easy there, Chewy. Get in for 3. Echoing Truth. That's gross. And another good reason not to play our Rancor. Problem is they are holding up a considerable amount of mana now. So there's every chance they just block our River Boa. So what do we want to do here? I think, okay, we play River Boa. They either have the counter or they don't. They do draw a lot of cards, so we're not gonna... Yeah, they got the exclude, okay. But that does mean now we can get Rancor down onto our Vault Scourge. Realistically, I know it looks like I'm just jamming a creature into a counter spell there, but the problem is this deck draws a ton of cards. I think the last time I played it, they ended up with like 20 something cards in the library by turn like 10 or 12, so they're going to see a lot of their deck, so the longer I sit on it and wait, it's not going to make it any better. At least this way we've taxed their mana to where we can get another potentially impactful spell down. And then I think I will... Is there any point in playing Crane Ranger here? There's no point in not playing it, I guess. As far as I know, they don't run Electric Array or anything main board, so we may as well play our Ranger down here. Pass the turn to our opponent, just to be efficient. Don't think it's really going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but we'll play it anyway. Well, it's not a great card to have with Vault Scourge, to be honest. But hey, we'll keep getting in with our Vault Scourge until they kill it, inevitably. I'm sure they'll have Lightning Bolt or Flame Slash or something eventually. There it is. Okay, Scred is their removal spell of choice. Fair enough. Rancor goes back to our hand. But at this point, I think we're pretty much dead, unfortunately. We're going to struggle to create a effective enough board state. So, as someone in the comment section of my last video suggested, I am going to play out this part of it, but what I'm going to do is I will speed through the footage and then I'll kind of jump back into it if we come back into it. Okay guys, so we weren't really going to get back into that. They're drawing so many cards, gaining so much advantage, we really just weren't ever going to start climbing back into it. So, what do we want in this matchup? I tend to think Vault Scourge is a little bit fragile for this matchup. So I'm going to take out the Vault Scourge. Probably take out one Rancor just because it's an easy way for us to get 2 for 1. Bring in a Relic to deal with their frantic inventories and their accumulated knowledges. A couple of Young Wolves just because they are a little bit more resilient than the Vault Scourges. I don't think we really want to do much else in this. Is there anything in our deck that's just terrible against our opponent here? I don't think so. No, I don't think there's anything horrendous. I think Vault Scourge is probably the worst card for us in this matchup. So we're on like this. We don't want to over-sideboard. So on to game 2, and let's hope that we don't have to go down to 5 cards for a start. It's a lot of land. 2 creatures. 1 swipe to get through an early Augur. But nothing else. I mean, if this land here wasn't here, if this was a 6-card hand, would I keep it? Probably. And I think on that basis I will keep it. It's really unexciting. But I don't want to end up mulliganing into oblivion again like we did last game. So I think we're just going to have to run it like this. Hope that it's not too bad for us. Hope we can start picking up some elephant guides and things of that nature. So island from our opponent, snow covered. I think just trying to allude potentially to the fact that they are Izzet Delver. Okay, so there goes our Nest Invader, I should say. And what I'm going to do here is I want to get out Relic really early. They might very well have a null here, but they don't. But I think it's important to get down our Relic super early here so that we can start taking AKs and frantic inventories out of their graveyard. Okay, so holding up that blue mana. Okay, so okay, we're kind of in the same position we were in the last matchup. We're holding a Burning Tree and a Nest Invader, and they have just open mana. I don't think we just have to go for it, though, to be perfectly honest. Play the Burning Tree. If they have the counter, they have the counter. Realistically, they'll have the counter for the rest of the game if we don't play it now. We may as well try and be... and prohibit again. There we go. Okay, so let's get that out of their graveyard. Pass the turn to our opponent. I'll be honest, this is the kind of matchup I don't think we're particularly favored in. Okay, Stormbound Geist, that's an interesting one. I guess just a recursive creature that we can't really deal with all that effectively. Okay. So how do we want to deal with this? Well, they're tapped out, so we'll play our Invader. Get that down while we can. And I don't think we Savage Swipe here. I think the worst thing we can do is make that bigger and harder to deal with. So I think the best thing we can do, because it can't block our creatures, is not worry about it. We're going to have to hope that we can plow through any Augurs and anything like that that they play. Okay, Ponder from our opponent. Let's see what they want to do with that. As I was saying, I think this is the kind of deck we're going to struggle against just because it has a ton of card advantage, a ton of removal, so we are just going to struggle against what they're doing. They can afford to just play a game of 1-for-1 against us because they have far more ones than we do. Okay, Stormbound Guy's coming in against us. We can do nothing about that. Okay. Lightning Bolt from our opponent. That is unfortunate for us. Okay. So again, they're just going to unfortunately pick off a lot of our creatures. But on the plus side, we do keep drawing creatures. I mean, I'm sure they will have a counter for Nettle Sentinel here, but again, I can't wait forever. The longer the game goes, the worse it is going to be for us. So, okay, they either don't have a counter or they do already have removal in hand for us. Both of which are, well, one of which is bad, one of which is good for us. Okay, another land. Gets in with Stormbound Geist. Interesting sideboard plan. Well, what I'm presuming is a sideboard plan anyway. Okay. Take another card out of our opponent's graveyard. Okay. So I think what we want to do here is wait for our opponent to cast their removal spell on us. I think it's a really easy way for us to get blown out if we start trying to hunger main phase. If we wait for our opponent to... Okay, Goblin Wizardry. Okay, so they actually can't remove us now. So this would probably be the time to do it, if any. So let's go ahead and hunger up our Nest Invader. I really wish this was like a Ledge Walker or something, but can't be helped. Oh, a yield. Always yes. Apologies if you can hear a dog barking in the background. That would be our neighbors. Okay, so get a 5/5. And our opponent's turn now. I think that's the way we had to play our Howl there, is try and be as patient as possible with it. Okay, so Evolving Wild, so presumably our opponent's going to go and get a second Mountain, so they can play multiple red spells a turn if they have them. Okay. Let's play Savage Swipe that one on that one. Let's start dealing with some of our opponent's creatures. Realistically, they're going to struggle to play enough. Okay, Scred on our creature. Okay, well, there we go. How do I get blown out? There we go. And I think, unfortunately, that probably just does it for us, to be perfectly honest. Savage Swipe is a really powerful card, but it does leave us open to potential 2-for-1s like this. Yeah. Yeah, I think we've probably just lost here. Well, we'll play it out. We might end up getting a... I was going to say a Ledge Walker, but even then they have Stormbound guys. So what can we actually hope to draw here that wins us this game? I really don't think there's anything, to be perfectly honest. I just don't think this is a good matchup for Stompy. Our hand obviously wasn't super aggressive, so maybe it was a case where we should have just mulliganed. Okay, Lightning Ball. Okay, at that point I think we just scoop it up. Well, there goes game one. Not the best of starts for our leagues, an 0-2 matchup. But hey, we're going to jump into match 2 and hope that our luck improves.